Our mission is to provide short-term assistance in times of crisis to low-income urban families of school students.
The Family Shade Tree means a lot to me personally. They've been a real blessing.
We met Letha through the counselor at Thurgood Marshall.
It just so happened I was just having a big problem where the people was getting ready to cut off my lights.
She couldn't get a job. The reason she couldn't get a job was because she didn't have an ID. She didn't have a Texas ID because she didn't have her birth certificate. She didn't have her birth certificate because she had to literally go back to Louisiana. She couldn't do any of that because she couldn't drive there, she didn't have a car, and she couldn't afford the bus fare.
And I didn't know what to do and where I was going to get it from, and I didn't have any money, and it was just me and the kids by ourselves.
So there was the sequence of events that needed to happen in order for her to be able to be gainfully employed again.
And you told me then not to worry about it, and took care of it. By that Sunday, it was paid.
And we were able to step in and assist her with all of that and a few other things to ensure that her daughter Deja was able to stay in school and focus on being a student.
Oh, it definitely makes me feel good, because now I really can focus on get myself together as far as employment-wise and financially stable now that I have what I need to get out there and do what I need to do. And I can take care of me and my daughter myself.
Stanley and Lechelle were actually walking through a parking lot this summer, the summer of 2010, and Stanley and Lechelle were pushing their baby stroller through and asked us what was going on. It was great to meet them. We were giving peanut butter and jelly sandwiches out that day. They began to ask us what we did and why we would be so kind and why we would look out for them. They were kind of skeptical.
Good, because the point is, one thing I talked to my wife about your organization, we said we're going to give it a shot and try to keep in touch with you and see what's really happening with this organization.
And over the months that we have been blessed to work with Stanley and Lechelle, they've been a joy. They also don't ask for much, but we're glad to assist them. Lechelle just gave birth to a baby boy in February, so Noah's got a little brother, Troy, and we're glad to work with them. And Stanley is on his way to finishing his license to be a truck driver so that he can strengthen his family now.
Family Shade Tree made a lot different for our life as our family. So that was the main thing, that somebody's willing to help.
Crystal is a hero. She's an inspiration. She's the most courageous woman I believe I've met.
And I was on dialysis for like 2 years, and I was on a waiting list less than 2 years.
We offered assistance just to help relieve some of the burden that she was under raising 4 children. Her sister was up from Greenville when Crystal had her kidney transplant. So while Crystal was in the hospital, her sister called and said, "Mr. Pointer, we have these stacks of bills. Crystal can't pay them, but she's too proud to let them go unpaid, and she's too proud to ask."
I was just so relieved when I seen those in the mail. I was like, he really paid my bill.
So to this day, that brave lady hasn't asked for a single thing from the Family Shade Tree, but the Family Shade Tree has proudly helped her stabilize her student children.
The Family Shade Tree, what it means to me is relief, that there is hope, and that God has people out here that really cares for other people like me.
I got a call one day from Regina. She was a proud woman who had fallen behind on her rent. She had 3 days notice to pay her rent or she would be evicted from her apartment. She has 2 children in school and she just needed a little help with rent because she had lost her job.
When I spoke with him over the phone, I felt a sense of security and sincerity, but it was still kind of unbelievable because people just don't come right out, flat out and say, "Hey, we're gonna help you." You know, Family Shade Tree means to me survival. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be in somebody's shelter, you know, a temporary shelter or something of that nature, but it was survival for me.
Myrna was raising 4 girls on her own because she and her family immigrated here from Italy via Seychelles Isle. Her husband didn't make it through the immigration. He stayed in Italy to work, so now she has subsequently been here without her husband, without her friend, without her help, and the girls without their father.
That first day, Rob gave us the main thing that we didn't have. We didn't have food.
And since she is an immigrant, she does not get food stamps. So she is doing everything herself to raise these kids to the best of her ability. And the school loves those girls. They make good grades.
Really high grade, in the 90s, 80s, very good.
And Myrna beams with pride as she talks about those 4 girls.
And I would always thank the principal, and of course thanks Rob and Family Shade Tree to put us back where we are now.